Most advisors are trying to be famous to the insurance industry and end up invisible to their clients. And here's why. Now, you might think that you have a content problem, or like social media just doesn't work for insurance advisors. There's no way I could generate really great, high quality leads and start great conversations using social media. But I have seen time and time again insurance advisors generating amazing leads through their social media profiles, the content they post, and the chats they started. But here's the pattern I also see: an advisor will go and make a post on social media. It'll get two, three, maybe four likes. And those likes are only from industry peers. They get no calls booked, no engagement. And then they conclude that it must be broken or social media just doesn't work in the insurance space. Then they stop doing it altogether. But here's the real cause of the problem. And in a few minutes, I'll give a three-part fix. But the real cause of the problem is that most insurance advisors are connected to the wrong people on social media. The real problem is your network and audience composition. You can run a little experiment yourself. Do it right now. Open up your LinkedIn, your Instagram, your Facebook, and you'll probably notice that well over 90% of your connections and followers are industry peers, other insurance folks, other agents, other brokers, claims people, underwriting people. So when you post, you're posting for people who will never actually buy from you. Now, when we work with insurance advisors, one of the first things that we get them to do is a network and an audience audit. After that, we get them to purge their connections and followers that only amplify this problem. And this is usually a huge shocker when they're done. They couldn't believe how many years they've been building the wrong network, building the wrong audience, and posting the wrong stuff. And then they no longer wonder why their content is only getting liked by claims people and other producers. So here's the three-part fix. The first part is your network. Who you add, who you follow, who you connect with needs to be pointed towards two main demographics. The first is your ideal client profile. Who would you love to have a conversation with? It might be geographical, it might be a type of business, it might be a type of household dynamic, whatever that profile is, you want to add, connect, and follow as many of those pages as possible. If you can help them solve problems and you know you do that really well, they should be people who are part of your audience, part of your network. The second group is your centers of influence, potential referral partners, other professionals who serve the clients that you are trying to work with so that you can have access to their broader networks as well. Ideally, your online network, which is what your social media profiles actually are, your online network should be roughly 80% ideal prospects, 10% centers of influence, mortgage brokers, real estate agents, lawyers, accountants, you name it. It's going to be different based on the type of prospect profile that you're going to be going after. 10% should be anyone else. So 80% ideal prospects, 10% centers of influence, 10% industry peers, family members, your old babysitter, the dog walker, whoever else you want to put in there. Fix number two, this is your content and your profile. See, one of the main challenges that I see online is that an insurance person will post something from an insurance lens. And they think this is helpful for buyers. They think this is helpful to maybe demystify some really technical thing in the insurance space. However, most of the applause and most of the engagement that they get, again, is from other industry peers. So instead, there are two types of content that we really like to teach and focus on here in Bind, and that we've seen lead to great results for our members. The first of which is a client story, a real client story, but told from the perspective of the client's experience. So this type of post, this unit of content, is designed to elicit an emotional relevance and resonance with the prospect similar to a client whose problem you solve. So in other words, if last week you just closed a really big life sale and this was multiple products, maybe it was a mix of perm and term and disability and something else, what was the experience like for the prospect? What were they thinking about or doing or wondering or overwhelmed by before having this problem solved? What did you do with them? And what was it like for them to go through the process of solving it? And then what was the outcome afterwards? And all from the client's emotional perspective. They probably had a transformation. They went from confused, overwhelmed, and burned in the past to now totally clear, totally confident, and they feel peace of mind knowing that that massive problem, maybe it was an estate problem, maybe it was a generational wealth transfer problem, whatever the case is, that problem is now solved and they're happy that it's solved and they're no longer confused, overwhelmed, or scrambling to find a solution that's going to work and they don't even know if it's going to work. So that's one type of story. Client stories, make it emotional, make it from the client's perspective, and drop the technical insurance stuff. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. The more technical the content of your post, the less relevant it's going to be for the prospects that you are trying to attract. The second type of content is just trying to get into the mind of the buyer that you're trying to work with in the first place. Forget the insurance thing. Think about it from the perspective of it's 11 p.m. at night on a Sunday evening. They're in bed, their spouse is asleep, but they are wide awake, eyes open, and can't catch a wink. What are they thinking about? What are they thinking about? Are they thinking about their monthly expenses? Are they thinking about, oh, I might need a new job? Are they thinking about, oh, I might need to move? Are they thinking about, oh, I got to take care of my aging parents? Whatever it is, whatever that thing is on their mind at 11 p.m. on a Sunday night when they can't fall asleep and their spouse is snoring right beside them, you want to enter into that conversation. Signal to your perfect future prospect that you understand them. You know where they're coming from. You know what their headaches are. You know what their problems are. And through your content, you start there. That's your hook. That's your in. You grab someone in by letting them know, hey, I see you, I understand you, and I have something to offer you. So as you pull together your content, as you pull together that post, you start with that emotional hook, signaling you understand them, and then you somehow find a way to lead that into insurance and how insurance can be a step to remedy that headache. You want to feel like Advil by the time that post is over for that headache. A part of content is also your profile. Again, this is a big problem I see online all the time. Insurance advisors, agents, brokers, producers, agency owners, they are too generic in how they position themselves on their profiles. They might even just title themselves insurance agent or commercial specialist or life insurance broker or whatever, life insurance consultant, group benefits consultant. That's all fine and dandy, but it's very easy to look invisible when you title yourself that way, when your headline is very generic, when the type of content you post in the first place is very generic. Instead, I would encourage you to find more interesting ways to talk about the work that you do. It gets a lot easier if there are particular niches that you like to work with. If there are particular buyer profiles that you do really well with, and you signal through your profile that you are here to help people just like them, it's going to be a lot harder to ignore you. You're going to be way less invisible to exactly the kind of people that you want to attract in the first place. Okay, so we covered network, we covered content and profile. The third piece, maybe the most critical piece, is DMs, direct messages, chats. Chats book calls. Calls lead to commissions. It's a very straightforward formula. A lot of the time when I talk with advisors about DMing people, sending messages on social media, they feel strange about it. They don't really know how to do it. Or if they don't feel awkward and nervous, they're just a little too overzealous. They get into this kind of pitch slapping mode where they just, whoa, this is what I do and here's how I can help. And you want to get on a call. You can't really do it that way. What we teach in Bind is the ACA framework for starting and continuing progressing DM chats. It's a great way to start real relationships with people who used to be just anonymous strangers who you just connected with on LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook or wherever. TikTok, is that a thing? I don't even know. People tend to overcomplicate this, but ACA makes it very simple. So that's an acronym that stands for acknowledge, compliment, ask. Acknowledge, compliment, ask. So first, if I'm starting a DM chat, I want to look at someone's profile. I want to see what can I observe about them, about their unique situation, about their profile, about their perspective, about who they are as a person, and then lead the chat with an observation. So that's acknowledge something about them, something personal, something that's clearly not a mass message that's being sent out to 100 different people. Then I want to compliment on that thing. And it has to be genuine. So it can be small. It can be very small. Anything that's kind of over the top is just also going to look very strange. And that's just not how people normally communicate. But the most important part of this ACA framework is the ask. You want to ask an intelligent question. So maybe it's something about what you observed in the acknowledge. Maybe it's something tied to the compliment that you're trying to give them. But you want to ask them an intelligent question that is easy for them to respond to. Open-ended works pretty well. I also really like a this or that question. So an intelligent question with a this or that format is, are you looking to do more of this, or is it really more of that? Or did you make that career jump because of this reason, or was it because of that reason? Just something that's very easy to respond to. If you don't feel comfortable with the this or that just yet, first of all, join Bind because we give you training on this. Then I would just have the open-ended question, something that's just kind of light, starts the conversation, and makes it easy for them to reply to. And we have had several advisors strike up amazing conversations, which have led to great opportunities and some even closed business with very large clients, all using the ACA framework. This new perspective on how to position yourself online, what kind of content to post that actually attracts the right type of buyer, and then how to start a DM chat in a way that's human, not weird, not robotic, not spammy, and actually leads to a conversation that can book a call, that can book an appointment, that can lead to a great opportunity for you to help them solve a major problem. Now, everything that we're talking about here is tied to what I like to call advisor money mechanics. Content helps you expand your network. Expanding your network gives you more people to talk to. Chats book calls. Calls lead to commissions. Now, we have a free coaching tool available to all of our Bind members called Advisor Money Mechanics. that will help you identify exactly the actions that you need to take to hit your monthly commissions goal. Because if you don't have that plan, you don't know what type of volume of activity is required in order to hit exactly what you want to be earning every single month, it's going to be really, really hard to get there. Link below. Come and join us. Get the free Advisor Money Mechanics tool and start posting online in a way that attracts buyers. Start more chats, book more calls, earn more commissions.